Breaking news! Something big is happening in Denver, and Broncos country needs to pay attention right now. What I'm about to tell you could be the start of one of the most exciting seasons we've had in years. There's a real shift happening inside this organization. Key players are stepping up. George Payton is making moves that are making other GMs look foolish. And national analysts are starting to talk about the Broncos like they're legitimate contenders again. But before I reveal all the details, if you're a real Denver Broncos fan, smash that like button. And if you've been supporting this team through thick and thin for over 20 years, drop this in the comments. Go Broncos! My heart bleeds orange and blue, because what I'm about to break down will make you proud to wear those colors. The buzz in training camp is electric, rookies are reporting, and the entire league is starting to realize what we've been quietly building in Denver. There are contract moves that are changing the future of this franchise, defensive stars ready to turn this into a top-ranked unit again, and a rookie quarterback already being hyped as a potential breakout star. This isn't just another preseason story. This feels like the beginning of something special. And wait until you hear why some of our AFC rivals are starting to panic. Now let's get straight to it. George Payton continues to prove why he might just be the smartest general manager in the NFL. Forget about the few missteps with Russell Wilson, Randy Gregory, and Frank Clark. When it comes to roster building, he's putting together something special. One of the biggest question marks from fans recently was about first-round pick Jaden Baron. People were worried he hadn't signed yet, but Payton came through in the clutch, sealing the deal just in time. Who cares if the paperwork was done at the last second? What matters is Baron is officially in the house, and he's set to elevate an already elite defense to an entirely new level. This is a defense that was already top 3 last season, and with Baron in the mix, games like the near loss against the Browns, where Jerry Jeudy torched us when Riley Moss was out, shouldn't happen again. Baron could be the piece that turns this defense into the most feared unit in the NFL. And speaking of smart moves, let's talk about how the Broncos are playing the long game better than anyone else in football. While other teams like the Kansas City Chiefs are throwing money at average talent, Payton has managed to lock up elite players for bargain prices. The Chiefs just made Trey Smith the highest paid right guard in football despite him being a liability in pass protection, giving up multiple sacks in the Super Bowl. Meanwhile, the Broncos have Quinn Meinerz, who's statistically better and was named an All-Pro, locked into a contract that's 33% cheaper than Smith's new deal. That kind of financial foresight is exactly how championship rosters are built. It doesn't stop there. Patrick Surtain, arguably the best cornerback in the NFL and a former Defensive Player of the Year, is making 25% less than Sauce Gardner, who just signed the richest cornerback contract in league history. Imagine having two of the best players at their positions, Surtain and Meinerz, without paying top-tier prices. That's why Payton's roster construction is so impressive. It frees up cap space to build around rookie quarterback Bo Nix, who's already earning hype from national analysts. Kay Adams went as far as predicting a 4,000-yard season for Nix, calling his stock skyrocketing. And why not? For the first time, Nix has a legitimate running back to lean on. The Broncos brought in J.K. Dobbins, who was arguably the best back in the AFC West last year, and they drafted R.J. Harvey, who's already generating fantasy football buzz. On top of that, this team's culture feels completely different from what we've seen in recent years. While players around the league are holding out and complaining about contracts, just look at Terry McLaurin in Washington or Trey Hendrickson in Cincinnati. The Broncos locker room is locked in. Guys like Nick Benito, Zach Allen, Courtland Sutton, and Quinn Meinerz all want new deals, but none of them are stirring up drama. They trust that if they perform, Payton will take care of them, and history suggests they're right. Expect extensions for players like Zach Allen or Benito to come before the league resets those market prices again. Speaking of other teams struggling, it's hard not to smile seeing some of our AFC rivals taking steps back. The Cincinnati Bengals, one of our biggest playoff competitors, just lost first-round pick Shamar Stewart, who appears to be heading back to college instead of playing for them. Their defense was already shaky, and now they're dealing with holdouts and roster instability. Meanwhile, the Chargers are riddled with injuries, and the Chiefs continue to tie up their salary cap in a handful of players. This is the perfect storm for the Broncos to take over the AFC West. Everything from roster management to the alternate throwback jerseys, which are widely considered some of the best in football, screams that Denver is turning the page and becoming one of the league's premier franchises again. The excitement is real, Broncos country. Rookies are in camp, the roster is loaded, and the energy feels like the early days of the Peyton Manning era. And here's where things get even more exciting for Broncos fans, because when you start looking deeper into this roster and how it's being constructed, you realize just how perfectly timed all of this is. George Payton isn't just building a team to win now. He's building a team to sustain success for years. Think about this. While teams like the Chiefs and Bengals are mortgaging their future to pay big contracts to players who might already be past their prime, the Broncos are locking down cornerstone players at bargain prices and filling the roster with young, hungry talent. That's how dynasties start. Look at what's happening with the defensive side of the ball. Jaden Baron coming in at just the right moment is going to transform this defense. Remember how dominant this unit already was last season? Adding a player like Baron, who has the physical tools to match with the best receivers in the league, takes pressure off the rest of the secondary. Patrick Surtain, already considered the top corner in football, now gets a legitimate partner on the other side, which means quarterbacks can't just avoid throwing his way anymore. Add to that a healthy pass rush with Nik Bonitto, who's ready for a breakout year, and Zach Allen, who is quietly becoming one of the most disruptive interior linemen in the AFC. That's a nightmare for any quarterback, including Patrick Mahomes. And speaking of Mahomes, let's not overlook the ripple effects of what's happening in Kansas City. The Chiefs overpaying for Trey Smith while letting better talent walk away is exactly the kind of misstep that opens the door for Denver to take control of the division. Mahomes might still be Mahomes, but without elite protection, that offense can be slowed down. Meanwhile, the Broncos' offensive line, led by Quinn Meinerz, is quietly becoming one of the league's best. His 88.2 PFF grade from last season speaks volumes, and the fact that Denver is paying him significantly less than other top guards gives Payton more room to keep adding weapons for Bo Nix. And let's talk about Nix for a second, because this kid might just be the X factor. National analysts like Kay Adams aren't hyping him up for no reason. A 4,000-yard season as a rookie might sound ambitious, but with the pieces around him, it's not far-fetched. J.K. Dobbins, fully healthy and coming off a year where he proved he can carry an offense, immediately upgrades the running game. R.J. Harvey, the rookie, is drawing comparisons to some of the best young backs in the league, and his pass-catching ability gives Nix another reliable option. And don't forget about Courtland Sutton, who is motivated to prove he deserves that next contract, and Marvin Mims, who is quietly turning heads in camp. This offense has balance, depth, and the kind of upside we haven't seen in years. What really sets this team apart right now, though, is the culture. There's no drama in this locker room. No holdouts. No players throwing the team under the bus on social media. Bonitto, Allen, Sutton, and Meinerz all know they deserve bigger contracts, but they're staying focused on football because they believe in what Sean Payton and George Payton are building. Compare that to the Bengals, where Trey Hendrickson is sitting out and first-rounder Shamar Stewart is already bailing to go back to college. Or look at Buffalo and the Chargers, who are dealing with injuries and holdouts left and right. Denver is healthy, motivated, and united, and that's how championship teams are built. Even the little things matter. You talk to fans around the league, and they're raving about the Broncos' throwback uniforms, which are already being called some of the best in the NFL. It's a small thing, but it adds to the excitement, the energy, the feeling that this franchise is turning a corner. Every move the Broncos are making right now feels calculated, smart, and perfectly timed. And maybe the most encouraging thing is this: Sean Payton hasn't even shown his full hand yet. We're hearing whispers that more deals could happen during the season, with guys like Zach Allen or Nik Bonitto potentially getting extensions before the market resets again. Imagine locking them in now before players like TJ Watt or Chris Jones sign their next mega contracts and push salaries even higher. That's how you stay ahead of the curve and keep this window of contention wide open for years to come. The AFC West isn't just up for grabs this season. It feels like the Broncos are positioned to take control of it for the foreseeable future. With young stars locked into team-friendly deals, a rookie quarterback who's already earning national respect, and a defense that might be the best in football, this team is built to win now and to keep winning. But here's what I want to know from you, Broncos country.